How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on the Jeffrey Epstein Island on Black Ops 3 Zombies. This is a mod on the Steam Workshop. It's a fantastic mod, probably one of the best I've seen in years. It really dives into the great and wonderful lifestyle of Jeffrey Epstein. Now, for this mod, I actually do have a step-by-step process, and I'm going to show you what I do to ensure a total victory in this game mode. Now, to win this game, there is a buy ending. The points you need are 69,000 to get the buy ending. Now, I'm going to show you what I personally do to get the 69,000 points in the quickest amount of time possible. So you can win. It's located in the Egyptian-looking Epstein building where he keeps all of his victims. So you are gonna have to spend a little bit of money, some CP points in getting your freedom, but at least you have your freedom. So I'm gonna show you how you get your freedom in this map by a step-by-step tutorial. So the first thing you'll notice as soon as you spawn in, you'll get a UI error. All you want to do is hit the escape key and then you can start playing normally. What you'll realize in this map has no windows, no barriers. Zombies just come straight out of the ground. So Carpenter's totally useless. There is no Carpenter special drop in this game mode. Carpenter ceased to exist. And immediately you're going to have, the first round, there's going to be hordes of zombies chasing you. Because all of them come up at once at all the same time. So you're just going to have to train them immediately, the first thing you do. Because there's no windows or anything holding them back from spawning in. So they all spawn in at the same time around this area. And here's power. This is where power is. And the perks are all here. So you have box, you have power immediately. And the first thing I would do is train these zombies until you have enough box points. And I would not go with the wall buy, I would go with the box buy like I did here. And you want to get a solid gun. This F2000 is a solid gun. I keep it for a couple rounds. But this is not the end gun that we want to stay with. The gun that we want to get out of the box is an LMG. But before we get an LMG, we're going to want to pack-a-punch our pistols that we get in the beginning of the game to have them like Mustangs and Sallies. In this game is called Taxes, Death and Taxes. Also, this is where Jug is. This is the first solid buy that I would get after hitting the box, after getting a decent weapon from the box. So it's just right over here. It's near the spawn. It's not that far away. You can literally see it as soon as you spawn in. So this is where Jug is. Solid purchase. You should buy this before you pack-a-punch any weapons, but after you get a gun out of the box that you feel comfortable with using for a couple rounds. Alright, and you can see here, I managed to get 5,000 points by round 5. Pretty easy. Rounds go pretty quick because there's no windows for the zombies to break through. So you get through these rounds easy peasy. Now, the reason I say get death and taxes is because these are supposed to be your fail-safe. Later when you get your LMG, you'll be slow, you can't run quick, the reload times are forever, and if you're in a bad situation, you can pull out these and, you know, get out of dodge. So, these are basically a fail-safe if anything bad happens. These are pretty powerful. They're not the most powerful weapon, you know, if you have the ray gun, that's more powerful. But, you know, I would just say, you can get packed by round 5. You might as well just keep your original pistol that you spawn in with and pack-a-punch it. You know, it's a fail-safe for if anything bad happens. Alright, I saved up a couple thousand points, and I'm going to hit the box a couple times. So what we're looking here is not for SMG. I get SMG a couple times here. This is not what we're looking for. We're looking for something with a large magazine and a high fire rate. So an LMG. We're basically looking for an LMG. So that's because there's no doors, no windows for the zombies to come out of. So they come up rapidly all at the same time. You know, round starts and within a minute, all the zombies are chasing you. You know, every single one. So what we need is something with high fire rate and large ammo capacity. And that's why we have the death and taxes for, you know, if there's still a horde on us and we have to reload, we could just pull those out and we could get the job done. So what we gotta do here is get an LMG. Now, the LMG may be cumbersome and may take a while to reload, but we can offset that. How? We use perks. Stamina Up is on this map, and also Speed Cola. And those two things totally offset and negate the negative effects of having an LMG. So, here I get the M240. This is a high fire rate weapon, as you can see here. This is something that we want. Now, we're going to want to Pack-a-Punch this, but we're also going to want the perks to negate, because look how slow we're running here. So, we're going to need to get Speed Cola, we're going to need to get Stamina Up, and I'll show you where those are, but I'm just telling you the strat that we're doing here and why you should get an LMG on this map. It's the perfect weapon, and all the negatives, all the cons, can be offset by buying perks. Alright, so this is where Speed Cola is. It's right at the beginning of the map. It's right next to box. This map isn't very big. So, I'm going to show you what it's like to reload with the LMG. It's quick enough to get out of a pinch. You know, you could definitely reload in time. Especially Pack-a-Punch. I think this gun has 200 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. And this is where Stand Up is. You have to buy this giant blimp thing. Here's Jeffrey Epstein's Island, where he diddled people. Here's the perk. And there's one of his victims on the floor. You know, there's some girl in bed, some dead dude. Maybe that's Epstein. You know, he didn't kill himself, though. Someone must have killed him. But pretty much that's where the perks are. That's where you have to go. Here's this hanging lady. So, yeah, Epstein's Island's pretty chill. But, you know, we still have to get out of here. Alright, so now we're finally at Pack-a-Punch. I Pack-a-Punch this gun a couple times. So, this is really the end of the strat. Now, basically all you're going to do is farm until you get 69,000 points. I have the M480 Buzzsaw. You can have whatever LMG you want. You can get double tap. Double tap is on this map. I just never get it. I don't really need it. I've beat this map twice using the exact same strat, and I've never needed double tap, even though I used two different LMGs. So, you can get double tap, however, but this is basically the rest of the strat. You have your 3 perks, Jug, Speed Cola, Stamina Up, and then you just basically farm. And I'll show you how you farm on this map. It's really simple. All you do is basically, it's like Kino map. In the center of the map, you just run around in circles and gather a train together and then kill all the zombies. So I'll show you how exactly I do that here. So here I am on round 16. This is the strat. This is the way that you're going to want to walk around. See how I have a train lined up here? You basically want to do a giant circular movement. Like I said, on the BO1 map on Kino, it's similar to that. You just basically go around the building, go around, you know, half of the island, and just formulate a train. So it's pretty simple. You just rinse and repeat this. I'll keep some gameplay up, but this is basically all you do. You just run around the map in a circular formation and gather enough of a horde and then gun them all down with your LMG. And, you know, honestly, that should be enough with with the zombie limit on the map. You know, it should be pretty easy to kill all those zombies that you accumulated all in one mag, really. Especially Pack-a-Punch. So if you have a Pack-a-Punch LMG, you can mow these zombies down no problem. You don't even really need death and taxes, but like I said, it's a fail-safe just in case. And by round 16, death and taxes do make crawlers. So if you need to take a breather, or you need to go do something, or, you know, you get a perk, you can make crawlers with death and taxes. It's basically a perfect weapon for, you know, I managed to get this game done by round 20. So it's the perfect gun for, you know, about round 20. I wouldn't go round 30 with death and taxes because it makes crawlers by round 16. That's no good. But for what we're doing, we can get this map done by round 19, 20. Alright, here we are in round 19. We almost have 69,000 points to end the match. This is basically all you have to do ever since you Pack-a-Punched your LMG. Just, you know, keep mowing down the zombies, get a train, and just mow them down. And you can see here we have enough points to go and get the fuck out of fucking Epstein's Island. You know, that fucking dirty pedophile, fucking spy agent, you know, for foreign intelligence agency, you know. So there's a girl in his bed. Look, 69,000. You've been diddled. Come back before you're 18. Like, this sick motherfucker, man.